welcome everyone here to Smash Evening Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's turn our attention to music in particular. And of course, we've got a very special guest. Of course, she is the Are You OK ambassador. Of course, Are You OK Day is in 2 days' time on Thursday, the 10th of September. Of course, she's got a new song about that as well called Matter. And of course, she joins us right now. Her name is Aislinn Sharp. She joins us right now. Thanks, Aislinn, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Will. It's great to be here and to help prepare for Are You OK Day on Thursday.
Now, let's talk a bit about the song first, the Are You OK inspired song Matter. Tell us a bit about the song itself.
So Matter is a personal story of struggling and feeling alone, that as someone notices the struggle and reaches out to ask, are you okay, becomes an uplifting pop alternative anthem about how meaningful connection can make a positive difference in changing a life. So as both a singer-songwriter and an Are You OK ambassador, I've made this song Matter and released it to help encourage more people to reach out and have Are You OK conversations.
Inspired you to write this song in regards to when, and I guess when did you decide to release it, obviously in time for this Are You OK Day in 2 days' time?
So I actually started to write it during a tough time in my life when I lost someone close to me. And it was a way to process my feelings and to find meaning. I really wanted to find a positive light that I could share with other people to encourage them to have conversations to help people who might be struggling. So I always intended to release Matter this year, and with COVID restrictions and just the tough year that everyone's had with massive disruptions to life, I felt like this song Matter and the Are You OK message is needed now more than ever to help reassure people that it's okay to not feel okay, to reach out to others, to have conversations, and to seek support if needed.
Great segue to my next question. You just mentioned about obviously what the world has been going through at the moment with this COVID pandemic at the moment, and obviously most people are, especially here in Melbourne, are doing it tough. Of course,
Yes.
Another 2 weeks of lockdown, of course, was announced during the week, which obviously correlate to almost 6 months of in lockdown.
Wow.
And especially the Are You OK Day coming up. I guess, obviously it's not just a day, but obviously anyone can check in on other people and how they're going. How important is the mental health awareness, especially during this particular time?
It's absolutely important. Right now with physical distancing, and like you're saying in Melbourne, it's so tough for people right now that their normal routine and interactions with people's been really disruptive, that maybe we're not seeing people the way we usually would in our life. And so maybe people are feeling alone and isolated at home while they're safely physically distancing. And so we might need to make more of an effort to connect with our friends, our family, co-workers, our neighbors. Maybe it's using technology. So maybe we phone them, send them a text message, Zoom, video chat, actually make more of a conscious effort for the people around us to say, how are they going? I haven't heard from them in a while, to see how they're going, because we may not be seeing people the way that we usually would. And I feel like we may have to be more conscious to connect with people right now with COVID restrictions.
Now, for everyone out there that want to get involved with the Are You OK Day, especially during this pandemic where, as you mentioned, not people can't really get together, especially down here in Melbourne, but obviously around the country where social distancing is applied to everywhere. I guess what would be your advice to them to get involved in this initiative? So
a really powerful way people can get involved in Are You OK Day is to visit our website. So it's www.areyouok.org.au. From there, there's lots of resources. Like, a lot of people know about the Are You OK brand and that we've got our National Campaign Day coming up on Thursday, the 10th of September. But not everybody knows that it's actually a 4-step process of having a conversation to reach out to someone who might be struggling. So if people are interested in learning more, like maybe there's a friend, a neighbor, or someone in their life they're concerned about, they can go to the Are You OK website and learn more about the 4 steps. So to briefly share them with you and your viewers, step 1, people usually know, which is ask, are you okay? The second step is listen with an open mind. Step 3 is encourage action. And the final step 4 is to check in, so that it's not just a one-off conversation, that we actually go back and check in and see how the person's going and offer more support if needed. So I feel like as a culture, if we're more comfortable saying, hey, I'm not okay, and that people are more likely to reach out and be open to hearing someone and supporting them, then I think that would help improve the mental health of our community. So that would be a really powerful way people can get involved in Are You OK Day. Of course, maybe you want to wear yellow, send something on like a post on social media to help promote mental health awareness and Are You OK Day. There's many ways, like even a virtual morning tea to connect with friends and family and co-workers. So the Are You OK website also has different ideas and inspiration about how people can help celebrate the day.
Now, for you being an ambassador as well as a singer-songwriter, what did that mean to you?
So I've been an ambassador for Are You OK for 2.5 years. And originally I became involved because I'm not only a singer-songwriter, I'm also a psychologist, and I'm really passionate about helping musicians with health and well-being. So I've actually taught musicians at the Queensland Conservatorium in Brisbane, which is where I'm from, about it's okay to talk about performance anxiety and to receive support. So since Are You OK has been, it's become so much more in my life that I have lost someone close to me. And so it's about encouraging people that it's okay to not feel okay. It's okay to start these conversations and to say, I need help, and to reach out to others. So to me, there's so many reasons to support Are You OK Day, that it's such a positive message about the power of connecting with others.
Now, let's talk a bit about your music journey. Tell us, where did it all start for you, and why did you go into the music scene?
So originally in school, I was into woodwind instruments. So I played saxophone, and I later went on to play oboe, and I actually studied that at the Queensland Conservatorium. I learned from being a music student that there wasn't support for things like performance anxiety. And so I really wanted to be someone who made a positive difference in that area. So that's why I became a psychologist. I wanted to help fill that gap and to help support musicians with mental health and career development. And so to me, I really like living a life where I can fulfill all my values. So to be a musician and someone who cares about health, and to be able to express positive messages through my music, such as with my new Are You OK inspired song called Matter. So I love telling stories. I love connecting with people, whether it's as a health practitioner or a musician performing for an audience. I just really like connecting with people and helping to inspire them.
Now, other than, of course, being ambassador of Are You OK, you mentioned being a psychologist as well. I guess, do you have any music highlights throughout your music journey?
Yes. So 3 years ago, I released a song called The Wall featuring Joel Turner. So some of your viewers might remember Joel, that he was on Australian Idol. He's a former world beatboxing champion. So that was such an amazing opportunity to release The Wall with him. And since then, over the last 3 years, I've actually been working with a Melbourne producer called Pat Gabrielle. His artist name is Paddy Boomba, and he's the DJ that tours with Illy the rapper. So it's been really great to work with him completely online. We've never met, and to give my music a more electronic pop vibe, but also with Matter to make it more pop alternative. So it's been great working with Paddy, that he's very flexible and creative to come up with these new sounds with me. And so that's been really great to be able to explore that. So I'd say that's also been a highlight, and just interesting to work with someone online.
Now, for everyone that listens to, especially this song Matter, this inspired song, of course, for Are You OK Day, and obviously listen to your other songs, and trying to figure out what genre of music it is. Tell us what genre of music do you normally perform?
So I just call it pop. I think it's the most inclusive of all genres, because you could be pop country, pop indie, or indie pop. And so electronic pop, like the song I released earlier this year. So Paddy and I did a remix of the song that I'd released with Joel Turner called The Wall Paddy Boomba Remix. So I like to be myself. I don't like to be boxed into one particular genre. I think when you're being creative, you just want to be yourself and to make the vision and the sound that you want to, and to not be boxed in by anything. So that's why I love pop. It can be so many things.
Now, of course, I have to ask this question. Now, obviously, with what's been happening, everywhere across the country is easing restrictions. Obviously, people to get back to a bit of normality, except for here in Melbourne. I guess, have you done any virtual performances during this COVID situation, or any, in-person live performances with a couple of restrictions involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, when the lockdowns first started across Australia from late March, it was a tough time where there were no gigs happening in Brisbane for, I think, about 15 weeks. And then in early July, things started to open up again. So yeah, since then I've done some live gigs, and about a week ago, I actually did my first live streamed performance at the Redland Performing Arts Centre. And that was great, because they had the full backstage staff, the lighting and the support crew. And so that was really amazing. It was just like doing a live gig, or we did have a small audience there as well. But I know lots of people have said to me over the last 6 months, oh, you should just do something on Facebook and stream yourself playing. But my house is not necessarily set up for live streaming. I don't know how interesting the blinds are. And where my keyboard is set up, it's actually facing glass, like a glass window, so you wouldn't actually be able to see my face. So I think people are not necessarily thinking about, maybe you don't have a venue at home that's suitable for streaming or the technology to do so. So when I got offered this chance to perform at RPAC, this 500 professional seated event venue, I thought, great, they're actually supporting me to do it well with live streaming. So I'm so thankful. It was really exciting to do that. But yeah, it's really tough. I think it's an assumption just to say, oh, you can just live stream from home, because there may be barriers to that.
Now, you mentioned about that, of course, one of my favourite venues, the RPAC, performing
Yes.
with virtually no one there to listen to your music, and just people watching it on live stream. How strange was that?
Well, it was unique, because I had a camera in front of me that I was really aware that I needed to engage with not only the people sitting in the venue, but also being aware that people were live streaming from anywhere in the world. So it actually was exciting, because I was able to do a shout out to you all in Melbourne and Victoria to acknowledge that you could be watching, and that, it's been a tough time. So in that way, it was exciting to feel like, you know what, I'm in Brisbane, but I can actually communicate with people anywhere. And so that actually was really amazing. I actually loved that about the streamed concert.
You've pretty much answered this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, which is, what does the music scene mean to you now?
Look, I think it needs a lot of support right now, and a lot of care. That it's been really disrupted, like a lot of industry, so that we still value music and what it can do for our community. And I'm hoping that I'm able to do that and to live that value, that music can be powerful to connect with people and make a positive difference in their life. So I hope that, people will value helping the music industry transition out of COVID restrictions, and to help support it, because it has been really impacted. To me, I still value music. I still want to do it, and I hope that people will get behind local artists and support them through this tough time.
Now, you pretty much mentioned it 2 questions ago, but do you have any advice to our love Melbourne listeners or viewers that obviously we're stuck in here for another 2 more weeks or 3 weeks?
Yeah, definitely. We are thinking of you in other parts of Australia, and we imagine how tough it's been for you. And yeah, sending all our love to you all, and just, hoping that you stay positive and we'll get through this tough time. And with Are You OK Day coming up, maybe some of your viewers are not doing okay, to really encourage them to reach out for help, that telehealth's really become a big thing in the last 6 months, so that maybe even if you're not able to leave your home or your residency, that maybe you can phone for help, speak to a professional, do telehealth in terms of online. Maybe you prefer to be able to see a health practitioner. So even if people go to the Are You OK website, so the address again is www.areyook.org.au. In the top right-hand corner of the home webpage is a Find Help button. And so from there, you can find links to other support services like Lifeline, Beyond Blue, 1-800-RESPECT. So we don't always know what someone's struggling with. So it has a range of services to cater for what people might need. And just to really encourage people, maybe they're needing help, that they can start there to find the service that might be right for them.
Now, just continuing a little bit along that line, do you have any advice to our listeners or viewers here in Melbourne that maybe thinking about writing some music and especially maybe experiencing what they've been experiencing in song?
Yeah, so even with writing matter, like I said earlier, it was during a tough time when I lost someone in my life. It was quite sad. And so I used writing matter as a way to process my feelings, to find meaning, and to share something positive with other people moving forward. So maybe if you have a creative practice for your viewers, like maybe they journal, maybe they use some artistic practice as a way to process their feelings, to have a positive outcome from it. Maybe they use movement, like maybe they do meditation. Maybe there's a way to exercise from home, listen to music. Like maybe there is a way to help them to process their feelings that would help make sense of it. Because it's been such a tough year to understand. Like to think 6 months ago, if you'd said to us, Brisbane's hosting the AFL Grand Final, you would be saying, what? You know what I mean? Like there's so much that has changed. Like, and Brisbane's not even in the final yet. So, to understand even things like that, to say, wow, the world has just changed so dramatically. And so, yeah, for me, journaling and talking to people, like, the Are You OK conversations, maybe talking to someone just helps you to kind of unpack what this experience has been like. It's really been tough.
With this last couple of questions, we'll finish up with a couple lighthearted one as well, which is any embarrassing moment on stage throughout your music journey?
Oh, of course. I mean, even like not quite preparing correctly, and maybe it was only embarrassing for me, but even my live stream gig, I did the sound check in flat shoes. And then when I got on stage, I realized that my microphone wasn't at the right height level. So when it was on my keyboard, I felt like I was having to kneel down here to sing Matter. At the end, I'm like, there's nothing you can do, Aislinn. You just have to ride this out. So yeah, that was a bit awkward and uncomfortable for me. So I learned a valuable lesson, like do your sound check in your performance shoes and not just in your comfy shoes. So yeah, that was really interesting. But yeah, I'll recover from that, so it's all good.
Have you ever forgot a lyric to a song?
Oh, look, of course. And I can say, I perform my own songs, and it was just a little artistic change I made in the moment. Why not? Be spontaneous.
I'm sure we all do when we sing songs and we don't realise there's different words to a song.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that song about cheap wine and a free can of Coke? And yes. It's a long way to the shop when you want a sausage roll.
Yeah, that's it. Now, when you do live performances, do you ever forget like the venue that you're performing at and just completely just say a different town or different venue and then you just can't retract it?
No, thank goodness. I've always done my research beforehand. Actually, I heard a story from years ago that when George Michael toured Australia, he was in Melbourne and apparently he kept saying Sydney. And apparently the audience started chanting Melbourne, Melbourne, so that he would know it. But apparently he thought they were saying Michael. And so he still kept saying Sydney. So look, I'm hoping if the audience did help me out, that I would be have my listening ears on, both of them. and that I would be tuned into that, because I think it's cool. It's a good connection to know what city you're in, what venue, and to be saying that correctly. So anyway, that was just a cool story from George Michael I heard.
That's right. Yes, I've actually seen that myself. So I know.
Yes. Maybe we'll post a link for any of your viewers that would like to watch that.
Now we'll finish off with this last two, which is for everyone that should follow you on social or through the music channel, especially to listen to the Are You OK inspired song Matter. How can I go about it?
So because my name is so different, if you and your viewers are able to spell my name, then you'll be able to find my music. So my name is spelled A-I-S for September, L-I-N-N for November, and my last name Sharp, spelled S-H-A-R-P. So if you can type that into an internet browser like Google, then you'll find my music on streaming services, including Spotify, Apple Music, and of course my social pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And of course, we might as well promote something that is close to my heart. It is Are You OK Day, of course, raising awareness for mental health. That, of course, that's this Thursday, the 10th of September. How can they go about either donating or do their parts?
So I think, again, going to the Are You OK website is a great way to support the organisation and the Are You OK message. So the address again, www.areyouok.org.au.
No worries. Well, Aislinn, thank you so much for joining us. It's awesome having you on the show, especially talk to us about something close to my heart, which is Are You OK Day, and especially with mental health in particular. And hopefully we can get people on board, especially not just on Thursday, but obviously beyond that, and especially to look out for each other.
Yeah, thank you so much, Will, for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about Matter and Are You OK Day. And look, any day can be Are You OK Day. So it doesn't have to be this Thursday. Any day that you notice someone might be struggling, have the courage to reach out and to connect with them and to check in if you can offer them support.
No worries. And that's Aislinn Sharp there, of course, the singer, songwriter, as well as the Are You OK ambassador. Of course, as you mentioned, you can get on to the Are You OK website, which is areyouokday.com.au. That's the letter I and of course the letter U, and of course the OK better.com.au for all the details on how you go about it. Of course, we'll post that up as well on our socials of course, later today. There's more on this evening show right after this. Don't go away here on a Lockdown Tuesday.